Hi everybody, we're here from the Sustainable Energy for All Forum. This is the third day, a lot of discussions and announcements around climate solutions in relation to sustainable energy. I've got the great pleasure to be here with Clare Shakya, who's the Director of Climate Change of the Climate Change Group at IIED. That's the International Institute for Environmental Development, based in London.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for being with us, and thanks for your contribution to the forum. I just quickly wanted to ask you, what were your main messages that you wanted to bring forward?
What we're interested in is how to get the finance where it matters, and looking at the opportunities around investment in energy. There's lots of discussion around the success of innovation in finance mechanisms, reaching larger numbers than ever before, the interest of the private sector investing in this space, which is all great. But what we're seeing in IIED is that the finance is not going to the poorest countries. So 50% of the those without energy access at the moment live in the least developed countries, the 48 poorest countries. But when we were looking at the finance last year, only 5% of commitments for investing in renewables is going to those countries. So they've got 50% of the needs, 5% of the finance, and that's the public finance. And private finance is even less. So what needs to happen in order to build the pipeline, if you like, to those poorest countries? And then once you've got the finance actually coming into those poorest countries, how do you make sure the very poorest and most remote regions also see some of the value of that finance, and make sure that entrepreneurs that are specifically designed to reach those very poorest communities are being supported as well?
Yeah. So what might be some of those strategies to kind of de-risk the financial investments in the poorest countries that need it the most?
Okay, well, there's some really interesting innovation going on. I was just speaking earlier about the Malawi work. IIED have been supporting with the government of Malawi, using the cash transfer mechanism that they have, the social cash transfer, which is targeting the poorest 10%, as a means to enabling the poorest households to get access to clean cook stoves, to solar lanterns, but doing so in a way that actually stimulates the local market. So you're creating opportunities for enterprises to come in and distribute those cook stoves, those solar lanterns, and then sell them on to the other people in the neighbourhood. Another example, very exciting, in Rwanda is basically the private company's been set up as a finance facility that is building, that allows big investors to come in, and then the company distributes finance to all the different chains in the energy supply chain. So to the bringing the kit in and then distributing it. And then supporting the maintenance. And by doing it at large scale, they reduce the cost of these solar household systems by half.
Wow.
So really reaching a much lower, it's making it much more affordable for the poorest. So there's some good examples out there. We've got results-based finance going on in Tanzania and a few other countries now. But all of these mechanisms are still happening at too small a scale, and we really need to be focusing on, let's try everything, let's see how big, what's going to work best, and then let's see that replicated fast. But we're moving at the moment, too much focus is on the sort of better off countries.
Yeah, and so the big question is how to really scale that up. We've seen some amazing technologies also here, for example the pay-as-you-go solar home systems, which also enable for more easily transfer of finance through mobile pay systems. So I just also want to ask you a little bit more around the grander linkage of sustainable energy and climate action. So many people say it's a bit of the same side of a different coin, that we need to implement as many sustainable energy solutions as possible to reach the 2 degree or 1.5 degree targets that we're all talking about. So from an IIED perspective, are we anywhere close to getting the rollout of sustainable energy that we need?
Short answer, no, but we're definitely going in the right track, and it's really things have really changed recently. I mean, coal is coming in auctions below the cost of, as a more expensive option to wind, to solar, in countries like South Africa and Latin America, India. Uganda as well. What we need to do though is there are so many parts of the puzzle that need to be put together, and energy is an essential part of achieving progress on everything else. You need energy for growth, you need energy for health and education. So it's a cornerstone, and it's absolutely essential we get it right. At the moment, I guess the level of ambition is too little. We're seeing some parts of the globe wavering on their ambition. But actually, what we are seeing also is the poorest countries standing up and saying they're going to get to 100% renewable energy. We're seeing the big businesses standing up and saying we're going to get to 100% renewable energy. Now we just need to make sure that we get the finance down to local level and give local people around the world the opportunity for them also to act.
Absolutely. And we were quickly discussing the role of young people earlier before the interview. So what's your message for young people out there, and how can you encourage them to be involved in building the sustainable energy future?
Okay, I'm a mother of 2 teens, and I guess my experience of talking about this with them is what's driving me feeling that we're not having the right sorts of conversations with young people. It's not about them having to worry about the future, it's them. They should be setting the vision. This is the sort of world we want to inherit. Let them tell us what they're looking for, and then hold us to account on whether we're achieving it. We have to turn it around. It's not, at the moment, there's an issue of concern and worry about the future. We need to turn it around to their vision. What do they want? What sort of world do they want to inherit? And then we have to think through how we're going to deliver that for them.
And really show that excitement around building that future world, which is low carbon and resilient.
Absolutely.
Thank you so very much.
Okay. All right.
Appreciate the talk.
Cheers.